What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video. We are going to be focusing on Town Hall 11 Hog Rider attacks in today's video. If you do want to see daily Clash of Clans videos, be sure to subscribe for all of my content. You guys have been asking for more Town Hall 11 attacks, and whilst I personally do not have a Town Hall 11, we have plenty of beast attackers in our clan. The first one here, Zet. You've seen him on my live streams as well, helping me to plan my attacks, getting it done very nicely here, setting up that funnel with incredible patience, and then the wall wrecker is going to help his heroes right into the center of the base. And what you will see is that in all of these attacks, the Hog Riders have clear pathing within the base. So once the Hog Riders now come in from 9 o'clock, you can tell exactly where they will go. They'll move in a clockwise motion round towards where the Town Hall is. And that is a key factor in terms of Hog Riders, guys. You want to try and come in with a kill squad. That has been simplified because of the siege machine. The wall wrecker works very well in these situations. If you do not have a wall wrecker, maybe you don't have any Town Hall 12s in your clan, this strategy will still work. You'll just have to use the more traditional methods, using the golem as a tank. Depends on how far you want to get as to how many you want to use, and then you will have to think about wall breakers, jump spells, etc. in order to get where you need to be. As you can see, getting to the end of the raid, the Hog Riders are going to finish off the defenses and then help with cleanup. But Zet already has plenty of other troops on the map which are going to help with that. Now, with these different videos and attack replays, you will get to see a lot of similarities. Hopefully, my Wi-Fi does indeed hold out here. Looks like we are good, and we can hopefully give you lots of tips and tricks as to what the similarities within the raids will be. So we've already discussed the first one, and that is creating the pathing for your Hog Riders. And honestly, people always ask me in terms of what's the most important thing to take down. It all does depend on the base layout, but you will see that in a lot of situations, what we are going to take out in this raid is the main priorities. But like I said, guys, it does vary depending on base layouts. Now, the things we're discussing are the enemy Archer Queen, the Eagle Artillery, and the enemy CC. You can see that in this replay, they are all going to go down using the Queen Charge technique for this one. And again, it's quite a funky base, this one. We will move on to a few other more highly upgraded bases, but basically, because these two replays were right together, that's why I've shown you them right next to each other. The kill squad in this one is crazy, gets right into the center of the base, is going to destroy everything, and you can see this lower half of the base, all of these defenses, again, clear pathing for the Hog Riders. They're going to move straight through this, and I don't need to tell you guys, heal spells are what you need for the Hogs. In very rare situations, you might need a Rage. That might be if there's a multi-inferno and a couple of high HP defenses that you need to get down, but that is in rare situations. You really need the heal spells. The Hog Riders are too fast. They are going to get out of that rage spell before you've even got any benefit, but they are quite squidgy as well. If they hit a couple of giant bombs, it's game over for the Hog Riders, so you do need the heal spells in order to help out. Now, you can see on this one, just using the odd giant on the back end in order to tank, just a kind of a nice little touch. It's not necessary, to be honest. You can get away with it, and you know, it's just one of them extra things you can do to really have them extra bits in your attack. As you can see, there's the odd balloon on here. That's great for cleanup, but also maybe the Hog Riders track to an area of the map where there's only cannons left or something like that. You can just sneak a balloon in and take it down, and also, you know, just mix in your other troops. You've got to think that Hog Riders, for example, over here, they're not getting over to this gold storage until right at the end. You might put a wizard in there, or if you've got something that's inside the base, even a miner is pretty good, just to sneak under the walls and get into there. Again, you might even save a couple of Hog Riders for when you're finished to then bring in at a certain part. So let's move on to our previous war here at Red Elite. Again, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to join Red Elite's Discord, and the recruitment team will take it from there. We do have maxed out Town Hall 11 and 12 players. That is what we are currently recruiting for. So Aki, another one of our core leaders and fantastic attacker. I wanted to show you this one because it's a weird base design. It's horrible. It really is. Sometimes these spread out bases can catch you out because you look at it and you think, how on earth am I going to break this down? Whereas Aki is going to show you, and the Hog Riders works very well. You might remember me saying that on these style of bases, the Queen Charge can work well. The reason for that is because there's never too many point defense in one area of the base. You can see 4 expos though. That would have been pretty tricky for the Queen Charge, but we're coming in with the regular kill squad and going to be able to get into the center of the base. Now, although the defenses are spread out on this one, the things we've been discussing in terms of pathing of the Hog Riders remains the same. Once we've taken out the defenses in the middle, you can see as soon as that sweeper goes down, the expos are down, the Hog Riders are basically going to track right the way around the top of the base here and through the defenses. You can still track where they're going to go, and what I mean by that is prior to the attack, you can work out where the Hog Riders are going to go, and it just means you're not in for any surprise. The more scientific you can make your attack, the more that you can control exactly where the troops will go, the more you can predict what's going to happen, and the greater success you will have. The heal spells you've got to be a little bit careful with on these open bases because there can be giant bombs hidden just about anywhere, but again, you should have more than enough heals, and even if you don't know where they are, if there hasn't been a scout, you can normally kind of work out where they're going to be. Next to Inferno Towers is always key. Next to some of the splash defenses, you might want to pre-heal in them spots, but you normally get, a second or so as well. When you see that giant bomb, if you quickly get a heal spell in, you'll be more than quick enough to help out. And there you go. Hog Riders are fantastic at breaking down these wide open bases. And I've got to be honest, guys, let me know in the comments, but we are seeing these a lot more in regular spins. Even in the CWL, we were seeing them quite a lot. So here you are, Zet again coming in with the Hog Riders. Maybe we'll try and get him on the channel sometime because he's very good at breaking down attacks. Like I said, you guys have probably seen him on my live streams before, but again, going to come in with a kill squad, and that is one of the key things for Hog Riders. You can't just mass spam Hog Riders. You can work out where they will go in terms of defenses initially, but then they will just spread out, and it gets too hard to calculate. So you have to come in, take out an area of the base similar to Lava Loon, just so that you can control the Hog Riders through the base. Using the bowlers on this one, just with the bounce in terms of the kill squad. And again, with the wall wrecker, if you've got access to it, there's no way that you should be hitting an attack without it. I mean, the battle blimp, the only way that would be helpful for Hog Riders is if you could dump Valkyries onto, let's say, the Eagle Artillery, or maybe you might even want to use the cloned Electro Dragon technique. You'd probably want to come in with Lava Loon after that, but again, it just depends on the base. I've often used that with the miners. Look at the base now though. We've zoomed right the way out for you, and you can see that entire right hand side of the base is taken out. So when the Hog Riders come in at 6 o'clock, they are going to move around the base again in that clockwise motion. We've got the troops into the center of the base, so the Hog Riders do not need to go there. We also discussed giant bombs and how you need to think about where they're going. Sometimes you can eliminate the need for hogs to go to that area anyway, so you don't even have to worry about giant bombs. Getting down to the end of it, Zet makes sure not to use his spells too quickly, saves onto a heal and a rage for the end, and that's another thing that again you should be trying to plan out where roughly your spells should be. Yes, if you don't have a scout and you have to adapt your plan based on any traps, or maybe your funnel and the kill squad doesn't quite work out. You need to adapt your plan. You might need to adjust where the spells are, but you should have a pretty good idea where you're going to need them, and try and save onto them as well. Far too often you can use the heals too early, and running to the back end, had you have just allowed the Hogs to take that little bit more damage earlier, you would have been able to heal through the back of it. Moving on to the final attack here, then again a small kill squad is going to be used. When I say kill squad, what I meant is a small amount of funneling troops in order to then help the wall wrecker through, and this is what you will most commonly see. Just a couple of troops in order to help to funnel. The wall wrecker, it's going to go in a straight line to the town hall, but you need to set that funnel for the heroes. Again, check out what we're getting here. We are going to get the CC, we're going to get the enemy queen, and other things you want to look out for are any types of splash damage, wizard towers, bomb towers, things like that. Obviously high HP defenses, if you can get the inferno towers or expos, anything like that will help the Hog Riders. But again, look at the freeze spell. It's right on top of the eagle. Honestly guys, the eagle is pretty deadly for Hog Riders if it gets shots off on them. So you do want to try and get that with your kill squad, or if not, you just need to think about how quickly you'll get the Hog Riders onto it. Do you need to take a freeze? You know, sometimes you can take a freeze and use it as a bit of a backup. You could have used it, let's say the single inferno locked onto the queen early on there, we could have used the freeze, or we saved it until the Hog Riders came in order to freeze the eagle artillery. So you can just kind of adapt as well. You can have some of the spells as kind of a backup plan, but that is how to use the Hog Riders at Town Hall 11. A lot of tips and tricks, and honestly I think right now the Hog Riders are the best attack strategy at Town Hall 11. The lava loon is arguably there as well, but it does require a lot more skill. That wraps it up for this one though. I've been your host, Judo Sloth, and until next time, peace out.